Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV on this Sunday evening. A weekend of pleasure. I will say that. To my right is Lou. You know who he is from West Ham Network, and we're here to discuss last night's famous win and the joy of every West Ham fan. Lou, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing better after yesterday. Like many fans probably are as well. It was fun for me. It was unexpected, but given what we've done last season, and we tend to be a slight bogey team from sometimes, especially at their ground. I probably should have expected it. So yeah, happy to have it at the minute, mate.
I'm going to be honest. I never see it coming. Well, talk me through yesterday, mate, of how we won that game.
Well, to be fair, we I think we've done what we needed to do, and it also helped that the players. Again, it seems to be one of those games where the players, everyone knew their role, and
Yeah.
everyone done their role, and they stuck to their job. It also helps the fact I'm not going to lie. It also helps the fact that Arsenal are a bit threadbare at the minute, especially up front in the attacking department. I think we took advantage of the fact that they didn't have anyone. You know, there was no Saka, there's no Havertz. You know, there's they're in sort of on their back foot at the minute, and sometimes it gives you a bit of support that you need if you want to get a result yourselves. And we little things like Kudus back to his best, little things like
Yeah.
that helping. It does make a difference, and I know I haven't been an advocate for it, but you certainly have. Bowen up front, you know, scoring a goal. I don't personally like him as a striker overall, but every time I seem to think that he's not you know the chosen one, if you get what I mean. He seems to get a goal, so fair play to him. He's gone and got the goal. It's the irony. It's one of those games where everything sort of clicks. So Rice, you know, the stuff with Rice, the fact that he was the geezer that was meant to be marking him, his
Yeah.
reaction come off. You know, everything about it. It's just that's the perfect away day, if you get what I mean. It wasn't scintillating football, but we done the job we needed to do. Everyone enjoyed it. The irony around it is brilliant. So I think everything around it was just a perfect day, really. I mean, you can overanalyze it as much as you like, but it's a great day. So
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I was stunned for how good West Ham was. I thought West Ham had a game plan. First time ever this season, they've actually had a game plan. They've actually followed it through from start to finish. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I need to talk about Ollie Scholes because I thought he was fucking excellent. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, I've seen some good players come through West Ham's academy over the years. Right, I've seen some players come through and make it, and then be like an average player. And then I've seen people like Ollie Scholes come through who's just took it like a duck to water. Just like I thought he was excellent yesterday. Yeah, what do you think? What do you make of him yesterday?
He's for me. He should be playing over Emerson. I've got nothing particularly
Yeah,
against Emerson. I think he's been, you know, a fantastic signing for us since he come in. We signed him for 15 million. I think he's played like at least a 30, 40 million pound signing since he signed. But I think this season, maybe last season, a little bit, he's not been pulling up trees like he normally has, and he's looked a bit of a, you know, just there, just a boat who's there. Doesn't particularly do anything in attack, doesn't particularly do anything in defence. But since Scholes has come in, he's the more he plays, the more I think he's done the right thing with him. I think he's bringing him on as a sub. You know, the perfect way to play youth is sort of give them a chance here and there, and then let them grow themselves. And I think he's basically he's making that position his own. And I think there is the fact that we played three at the back yesterday, so he had the experience of Creswell next to him. Like I said, everyone played well, so it was not like, you know, he had to cover someone or he had to be better because someone else wasn't doing their thing. He was allowed to, how can I put it? He was allowed to be as good as he was because he didn't have, he was by having to come back or do an extra job. He could just be allowed to be the Ollie Scholes that we know he can be. And I think he's got a bright future at West Ham. There's no doubt about that. But for me, I think he just grasped it. And like I said, maybe if Saka was playing, he'd had a harder job, or if there was a better player for Arsenal up against him, it might be a different test for him. Might be saying a bit differently about him. But for the job he had to do, and this is always say, it doesn't matter what you're playing against. You got to do the job at hand. And I think when you say his first full debut away is a tough game because they want to get the win, because they want to keep the pressure on Liverpool. I couldn't be any happy for him, and I think he really is making that position his own now. So I hope from now on he does start, but you know, we've got to trust Potter's game. So if he feels like he needs to sort of give him a bit more time from the bench, then so be it. But at the minute, I'm impressed, very impressed.
I thought yesterday, I thought he was excellent. I thought the whole of the back line was very, very good. Like, I think everyone done their roles pretty well. Tadebo coming back
Yeah,
and
Rolls Royce.
basically looking like, yeah, like a complete Rolls Royce at the back there, for 60 minutes was excellent. I thought Aaron Cresswell helped Scholes a lot
Mm,
yesterday. Told him when to go, when not to sort of overdo it, and basically when not to sort of commit, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think Scholes done a lot wrong. Like, none of them really done a lot wrong. I know Arsenal, and I see some of the Arsenal fan channels, naming the big uns, like literally calling out West Ham, saying basically West Ham weren't that good. It was because Arsenal was shit. They they had the good enough players on the pitch to cause us problems, but we done everything right for once. Do you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it felt a bit like, I don't know if anyone's seen it, the Man City Liverpool game earlier.
Mm,
Liverpool got the goals, and then they masterclassed, but not say parking the bus, but like in a way it kind of was. I mean, I've never seen Liverpool defend like that in my life, but we done what we had to do.
yeah,
And I think the biggest thing about it is, I think years ago when we had Rob Green making a record amount of saves against Arsenal in that game, everyone remembers that game. Ariel didn't really have much to do compared to what he would normally have done if we had been put, like last season against Moyes, he'd be making 10 saves a game, being, the hero, last ditch saves here and there. But we were so cool and calm. It was like, yeah, if he's there if we need him, but
mm,
we know what we're doing before the ball gets there, and they just got more desperately. Look, they might not have been very good. There's no. Look, I'm not going to defend Arsenal or anything. I'm not. I know people. I've actually had, to be honest, this is the difference between Spurs and Arsenal, right? I've had texts from Arsenal fans who are family and who are friends who have said, "Well done." Who have literally texted us saying, "Well done. You
yeah,
deserve that. We were shit, but you lot were good. You've done your job." A mate of mine, he's also on AFTV. I won't say his name, but if you see him, but he's very honest and down, and he'll say how he sees it, and he says West Ham played well as well, and we deserved it. We've done what we had to do.
mm,
I don't know if there's any Arsenal fans that are saying the opposite, but obviously you've seen them and I haven't. But yeah,
yeah.
there's going to be supporters that are going to say that. There's going to be supporters that are going to say differently, but it doesn't matter what they did. We had to do our job, and not being funny, but the way we played against Brentford, I had no hope we would do that. So for me, it was a massive improvement to get beaten up by Brentford like that, and then go and do that against Arsenal when they got everything on the line with that. Then yeah, I'm just proud of us. I don't really care what Arsenal do. They're over there. They've got their own things to do. We've got to do what we've got to do. We did it.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, when it come to our sort of team yesterday, I thought Potter got it absolutely spot on. First time really this ever since his reign.
I was proved
He
wrong. Just a side
Yeah.
note, I was proved completely wrong.
Yeah, and I did see people sort of overreacting on Twitter, going like saying, "Oh, how are we going to sort of attack?" But I thought the balance was right. I'm going to be honest. James Ward-Prowse coming back has sort of helped us to a point. What do you make of him yesterday, mate?
Um, I think he was the outlet that we needed with the.
Yeah,
There's a few tackles he put in. I must admit, there was one. I don't know if anyone's seen on the highlights. There's one where he slides behind the Arsenal player
yeah.
and drags his leg back for a slide tackle. I didn't even know he was capable of doing that. I didn't think he was that sort of player. Yeah, it's just he's technically sound, he's experienced, and I don't know whether you believe the rumours or not, but some of the players in the dressing room were really not happy when he was let go on loan, and that can cause an effect, a ripple effect.
Yeah.
So maybe now him being back and playing, it gives the players a boost as well. But he's just, the one thing about him is, and it's little something that I'm kind of a bit gutted for him and for West Ham, is he's never going to score a free kick for us, is he? I mean, of all the things he can do, he's a set piece wonder guy, but he'll never score a free kick for us. I'm hoping I'm proved wrong with that, but it just doesn't seem like it at the minute. But no, he's been the technical. What's the word when I say calming influence? Like you can give him the ball.
I completely agree on that.
And he'll do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
One of them guys that won't lose the ball. You know what I mean? They're giving the ball, he won't lose it. But he'll play it simple. He'll do what you need to do at that time. If he needs to pump a ball across field for a pass, that's what he'll do. So I'm not saying he's the best player in the world, but he's what we need now. Getting him back on loan was the best decision probably like another signing, if you get what I mean. But like, we didn't do much in January, but we got him back and we got Ferguson.
I never forget when someone put a tweet out saying if we were signing a person who had got 18 goals and assists from last year, people were going mad, literally going mental. What a signing! Yeah, great. Like, let's get him in. Like, we had a geezer there who done it because he's not a fancy name. People that sort of turn their nose up at him, and I don't understand why. I agree with you. I think he's been a calming influence. I thought yesterday he was excellent. I thought he was in and around the players. He's the sort of player you need on the ball when it gets a bit tough, and he always picks the right pass, and he's never clumsy. Really, Ward-Prowse. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the one of the main men yesterday, Mohamed Kudus. People said, is that the game that he was trying to get Arsenal to buy him? What did you make of him yesterday? Because I'm going to be honest, I think that's the best game he's played all season.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think he had another at the start of the season against Man City. I think he was brilliant as well. Just unlucky not to score. But I'm just pinpointing certain games here because when you say that, people go, "You can't say that. You can't say that." With this game, it was refreshing to see him play like he does. I still think that he's passing it a bit too much. I think Potter's trying to make him a team player. And I totally understand that. And I totally understand that also when he is selfish, he can be a bit too selfish and needs to pass at a certain point. But yesterday was one of those games where actually him holding on to the ball is a benefit to us. Him passing it, there was a part, it was on the break late in the game at 1-0, and it's him and Ferguson, the counter-attack. And if he puts it through in front of Ferguson, we'll probably go 2-0 up. But he passes it just behind him. And when you see it on the replay, there's a possibility. If he carries on dribbling the ball, he either gets a free kick because the guy's going to tackle him, or he draws past the defender, and that's an opportunity for himself. So I think he's costing 2 minds. But generally, there was a point. I can't remember who was commentating on it. I've seen a few clips and stuff, but they were in awe of his strength. Like literally, you couldn't get the ball off him. And I was going with my brother yesterday, and he said that Bowen being out probably didn't help him recently because when Bowen plays, he has people marking him.
Yeah,
no Bowen about that he's getting now 3 or 4 players marking him, which keeps him out of the game. And I love him when he goes past about 4 or 5 players with ease, but he can't always do that. And he does seem to at times, but it's a bit harsh to expect it for 90 minutes. But yesterday he was strength, he was speed, he was guile, he was prowess. Everything we needed for the game, he was that. The only thing he was missing was probably a goal. I think he deserved the goal, but he done all the hard work. Normally does. And do you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say this for the quote. West Ham at the minute are in the bottom half at the table. I'm not naive enough to think the players will want to stay with West Ham because of West Ham, right? If they want to move, fair play to them. Just don't be a dick while you're at West Ham. So if you want to go and put yourself in the shop window for West Ham, let's be honest. If he wants to go to Arsenal for a third, as long as they pay 100 million, like they did for Rice. I know he's not worth it with his recent performances, but if you want to put yourself in the shop window, then as long as you play well for us and we reap the rewards for it, then I'm cool with that personally. So
yeah. I've got to be honest. I see that yesterday. People saying, "Oh, look at him. He's putting in the performance because he's playing against Arsenal." Couldn't care less. Like that's what I want him to do. That's what he's paid to do at West Ham, to put in performances. I thought yesterday he was brilliant. I thought he held the ball up well. I thought descending off for the Arsenal player. Mo done that. Mo caused that. Mo caused the panic. The strength of the man. And I said it on the afterthought yesterday. Like, he was just strong as an ox. Like, there's nothing was getting near him. Do you know what I'm saying? And the only thing I will say with Mo, which is a bit of a problem, is he never runs in behind. That's the one thing he never does. He always goes ball to feet all the time. Mitch said it to me on here a while ago. And I remember Mitch saying it, and I was like, I'm going to have a look at this, right? And I started looking at it, and he does never run in behind. He never goes with a ball over the top. Maybe we need a midfielder in the future who can play a ball over the top for him to run onto. More to the point, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he's. I didn't actually think about that until you just said it, because now you say it, you bring up something. But I don't think he ever gets them. He's too trusted with the ball. I think when we give him the ball, it's to do something, to make something happen. We don't because Bowen's like that. Bowen will run in behind, but because we don't normally trust him. I think because since Kudus has been with us, he's been the one that starts attacks. You give him the ball in the centre, the midfield, whatever, and he'll do his turn, his old Scott Parker 360 turn, and then he'll drive on. And then our players go, right, now let's disband, let's make an attack happen. Because I don't think he's given that opportunity to run in.
Yeah.
He's very much like, right, we'll give Kudus the ball and he can make something happen, or he'll start an attack. That's just from my experience of watching him. I could be wrong, but I feel like we don't use him in that way. We don't look for him to run in behind. We look for him to pick out someone who's running in behind. So I could be wrong there, but maybe he could. But the trouble with us, we don't get forward that much for him to. I don't think I've been seeing this season. Get try and create as many chances without him. So yeah,
I do love that name, Roberto Scarles. Scarles, or his
I posted to West Ham Network. I don't know if I've come up with that name myself or someone has before me. If they have, it come to me. I think I can't remember what game it was. Chelsea. It wasn't
yeah.
Chelsea.
He reminds me a bit like Cafu, the way he plays at Scarles. He really does.
I'm a bit too young.
Yeah.
I
remember Cafu picking the ball up and then just driving up the pitch all the time. Yeah. And I remember like he reminds me of, I won't say he's a Roberto Carlos type player, but definitely a Cafu type player, mate. Up and down. And as we said earlier, right, with him, he's just a breath of fresh air. And there's going to come a game where he's going to have a shit game, which we've got to accept. We've got to accept it as a fan base. Yeah, he's going to have a shit game. I don't think he's had a bad game since he's been playing, though, if I'm being honest. No,
he's been consistent with it. I think that's also because he's come off the bench as well. Like, you've got less time to make mistakes, and when you do, if you come off the bench and you make mistakes, and it's highlighted because that's all you've done in that game. Yeah, you have longer. You maybe you do 4 things good, 1 thing bad, but the 4 things, people don't forget the bad things. You've done the 4 good things. Yeah. I definitely think that's what I'm saying. His potential for us is brilliant, and this is my point. I think I was on with you and Tommy a little while back. You and Tommy, I think they were clashing a little bit. I think that people are very sort of quick to put down a youth player that he's not good enough the minute he makes a mistake. The second he gets pushed ball, the second he gets was really what you go, okay. You Potter said it himself in I don't know if anyone's seen it, the Iron Talks podcast on West Ham's. He said that his main thing when he got to Swedish 4th division was that he learned, and through his playing career, he learned that most footballers learn through fear. So no one can make a mistake. If you make a mistake, the manager's not going to like you. Your teammates aren't going to trust you. This, that, and the other. The main thing when you're playing debut, isn't necessarily to play well. It's to just not make a mistake, and then you build that foundation from there. And what basically Potter was saying was that make a mistake. Don't mind make 1 or 2 mistakes, but it's how you learn from that mistake. If we're in an attack and a player makes a pass, doesn't want to see our players go, no, what's going on? You've got to go, okay, you've made a mistake. How are we going to deal with it? How are we going to respond to that? And maybe if Scarles is playing, he's giving him the breathing room to go, look, if you're going to come on, if you're going to make a mistake, you get bounced off, do that, but don't worry about it. Just as long as the next thing you do is good and it makes up for that, that's all that people care about. So hopefully he's giving him a platform where he can, just go, I've got 5 chances. I've got 5 times to get the ball. I've got to do 3 things good and 2 things. But I don't know how. I used to be a coach, but I was nowhere near a professional coach, so I wouldn't know how to do with it. But
honestly, listen, I completely agree. Like, when I look at him and I look at the way West Ham, because like what people are saying, I do agree with them on this. It's a pre-season in a pre-season with West Ham going right now. This is a pre-season that we're learning about our players, and we're learning what players Potter's going to keep and what players Potter's going to sell. As I say, the midfield was good, the defence was good. Let's talk about our captain, Mr. Jared Bowen, 50th goal for West Ham United. What better place to score it at the Emirates with all them lot?
Yeah, he's. I don't know about you, but I'm one of these people that's a bit like, I don't like gruesome stuff or like if I've broken bones. I don't know why, but I keep looking at him as like going, you got a fractured foot a few weeks back. Like I keep looking at him as he's going to break down or something. But that's just me. That's how stupid I am sometimes. But he's by far our best player. He's our most consistent player. I actually get annoyed at him when he's not as good because I feel like it's quite harsh for me. But I expect him. So that's what he's done to me. He's made me expect to not drag us, be the consistent performer. And I don't rate him as a striker, and every time I don't rate him as a striker, he scores. So I'm going to continue to not rate him as a striker, so he continues to score. That's going to be my gift to West Ham as a West Ham fan. But no, he's got. I didn't realise how quick he was either. I think I've been a season ticket holder since we moved stadiums, and there's been a few times where it surprised me how quick he is. And Arsenal have got one of the best impenetrable defences in the Premier League this season, and he cooked them. The goal was fantastic. Him and Wan-Bissaka tearing him a new one. He's just. I didn't really think he was a good captain, but I think he was talking quite a lot yesterday. He was really arguing the point with the referee quite a lot.
Yeah.
He's just brilliant. He's naturally gifted. He's a hard worker. He's got a gifted touch, goal touch. Deserved the goal yesterday. And I don't know if he's put on his Instagram that he's the whole humble joke thing, but I think he might have done. But yeah, he deserves his flowers because he's just. I did use word from yesterday. I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, no, he's fantastic. For not a 10 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10 if you want to go that.
One thing I will say, I just want to say this. One thing I will say is he striker material? Because I know we've had this backwards and forwards for a while, and I speak to a lot of West Ham fans, and some of them agree with me. He's probably our most deadliest finisher in the box. Like when he gets a chance, he never really misses. Like I never see Bowen sky a ball over the bar or anything like that, or when he's 1-on-1, I don't see him spoon a ball wide or anything like that. He always has a shot on goal. Let's put it like that. And if the shot on goal, it results in either a save or it's going in the back of the net. I like him as centre forward, but other people don't. They say, "Oh, he's better on the right." I think you get a better if you go and invest in a right-sided attacker or it's Mo. Then you've got a balance there. I felt like one thing I will say about yesterday, which I noticed quite a lot throughout the game, how balanced we was and how disciplined we was. I thought we was disciplined brilliantly yesterday. Like we knew when to go, we knew when to stay, we knew when to press. We never got flustered. The only time we ever got really flustered in the game as a whole was probably when Areola was on the ball. Other than that, every other time it was a bit, I thought we had it under control. What do you make of how controlled we was yesterday, mate?
Yeah, just on the Bowen thing, I think that he, how can I put it? I think we've been so used to Antonio playing up front that we kind of look for that strong, big, powerful centre forward. And Bowen isn't that. Bowen's technical. Bowen isn't, for me, he's not a strong centre forward, but he is quick, he is technical, and he will run in behind and make things happen and bring other people into the game. But I think he gets bullied a little bit against big defenders. I know obviously yesterday was different because they're two fantastic centre backs, but he probably that was one game where it did work for him. But overall, I think at home, and watching him at home, he always seems to go quiet a little bit. I think he doesn't have the same game up front. I don't know what that is. In fact, I think as a team, we've got this hoodoo at home. I think we're actually, especially this season, we should be better away from home than we are at home. But yeah, like I said, when the team come out, I was like, this is defense. This is like, I think, I know he's got a threadbare squad, but Potter's been impressing me lately. And when he put out that team, I thought, I think you're maybe worried about a slight potential relegation battle. So you're trying to grind out a result. But yesterday was like, you've got your structure. On paper, it doesn't look very appetising. But during the game, the structure and the ethos will pay dividends, and we have looked like that before. We have looked like that a lot of times. In fact, the only two games I remember us not looking like that was the last two home games, or Crystal Palace and Brentford, and both of them games was we played terrible and we lost. And when we have structure, we're very hard to beat, and it's when I watch us like that. I'm not only am I impressed, but I almost relax because I know that if you beat us, you're gonna have to work hard for it. Like if you're gonna win, you're either gonna be lucky or you're gonna deserve it. And yesterday was a perfect example of being structured, a bit like the old Neil Warnock saying, "Enjoy it, but enjoy it by being disciplined." So we do, and he's. I didn't think he was that structured. I didn't think that Potter had that in him. I thought he was just a position-based man, plays counter-attack or position-based football, and that's it. But clearly he's got more in his locker than that.
Yeah, listen, I completely agree. We will talk about Potter now. How right you can get it. Like he must love just going to the Emirates all the time because he seems to win there every single fucking year. Um, Obviously, the starting lineup was great to a point, like, and people were moaning about it, but he got it bang on. Um, what do you make of Graham Potter, mate? Obviously, because people before the game, people were a bit up and down with him. I've always said, this is my honest opinion. I believe in Potter. I really do. I believe this man can build something at West Ham, but he needs the tools and the assets to help him build. Do you know what I mean? He can't make like he can't build out of it like nothing. Do you know what I mean? He can't build out of straw. What do you make of Potter?
He lost me a little bit. I must admit, he lost me a bit after the Brentford game because, in my opinion, I wrote an article about it again on West Ham Network.
Yeah,
He had 2 weeks to plan for the Brentford game, and it looked as either we didn't play, he's got you completely wrong, or Brentford just very easily out tacticked him, Thomas Frank. So I was very disappointed. I was like, come on, like of all the times for you to you've done better with less planning time. That was I was thinking of all this. You've had 2 weeks, of all the time in the world. We've got players coming back, and this is how we go. And I was gutted. I was disappointed. I was pissed off as well. I was like, this is not what I want to see. This is not how we've been playing under him. And that was a
yeah,
shock to the system. And I was pissed off. I was really pissed off. And in the Arsenal game, was night and day on that, night and day. And he's won me back again. And I don't really get it. And this is the hard thing about being a fan. And I know that I'm probably wrong saying this, but I feel like there should be more transparency with things, because what has gone on in the Brentford game to the Arsenal game, is it just the fact that it's different circumstances? Is it different team? Is it away from home? Is it this? Is it that? But it doesn't really make sense to me. And I know this classic West Ham is you lose to Brentford at home and you win at Arsenal away. That's the classic West Ham. You can't get more classic than that. But with the way he's been lately, like, maybe there's a part of it that thinks, do you know what? I can be structured away from home because the fans will accept that, or that's more acceptable. If you were like that at home to Brentford, the fans might not be getting on board because you're parking the bus, or you're being structured. You're not doing what the West Ham fans want to see. So maybe he's caught in between of trying to play like that at home and then being able to be the frustrating, disciplined team we are away from home. But I'm not. Look, when we lose, I'm pissed off, and I'm not. Oh, well, maybe he isn't the guy. When we win like that yesterday, yes, he is the guy. So it's a bit swings and roundabouts to me. I'm not going to call him out. I'm not saying I'm against him. I'm not saying anything like that. I don't really get him in a minute because of the Brentford game. Because
I get what you're saying about the Brentford game.
Just before I know I'm being harsh. I know 1,000% I'm being harsh, and I want to be proved wrong, and I want to be proved. I was talking to my brother yesterday. And he said, "Look, when he gets a full window, give him a full window in the summer with his mate who's just brought in, and give the bloke a chance, because this is still the hangover from the Lopetegui reign. He's still trying to build his own thing. So I'm being harsh. I'm being harsh.
Yeah. For me, I look at him is that no one can really judge him this season, really.
No.
Like, obviously, you can judge him game by game. I get that argument, because you're going to have to judge him game by game. But you can't judge him as an overall perspective and think that West Ham can go and find better. West Ham are in a bit of a shit situation at the minute. They've got a manager there who people are a bit up and down with, and I think Potter knows what he's doing. I think he just needs the tools, and he needs stuff to sort of go his way. Yeah, I think if the ball go against him in anything, then that's where it could be a divide. Yesterday, as I say, he got it absolutely spot on with everything, and you can't really fault him. I'm going to ask you, I was to say this. Let's talk about our ex-player, Declan Rice. Get subbed off as a strop. Someone put in my comment section earlier on and turned around and said that he refused to shake Bowen's hand at the end, or he pushed Bowen away a little bit. What do you make of that, mate?
I don't know, because I don't have the same hatred for Rice as some people have. I know they hate him for going to Arsenal. To me, it's like he exists, but I've got no feeling towards him. Like, for me, we got 100 million for him. Like, that's all I want. I knew he was going. I actually thought he would go the season before he did go.
Right.
So the fact that he was still there at the time, I kind of actually agree with David Moyes when he said he could have gone for more, but we obviously sold him for 100 million. Look. How can I put? Yes, if he has done that to Bowen, and that's completely unprofessional, and that lacks class. And we don't know what Bowen said to him during the game. I don't know. He might have wound him up and gone, "Nah, fuck off. You've been on me the whole game." I don't know. It might have been Bowen giving him shit and he's not having that. I don't know. But for me, this is what happens when you. Declan Rice is a top level player. He's a regular for England. He's playing with a team that are trying to win the league, and they're in the Champions League for that, right? Ego wise, I've watched documentaries where top players said this. When they get a team that's not in their realm or stratosphere, they go, "Oh, just roll over for us, will you?" You're not trying to achieve what we're trying to achieve. And he's at Arsenal and he's trying to win the league, and his mentality is like, they strop. They're arrogant. They're strop. If they think you're trying to win, we're trying to win the league. I'm not one bit surprised that he'd react like that, because most of them probably do. He couldn't hide it at that point. Normally he does. Normally he does hide it. Normally he does come across as quite professional and stuff. But it happens to be us, and it happens to be the fact that we gave him. Apparently, the fans gave him shit. What I was watching it on, I couldn't hear. Even the highlights from Match of the Day, I couldn't hear the fans very much. They weren't, but obviously those at the game have said that pretty much the whole time that Rice was there, including when he's taking corner kicks, the West Ham fans are giving him a lot of shit. He's probably pissed off that now that the league's gone, pretty much. So there's many reasons why it's not that. But like I said, I don't have any. I've got no feelings towards him, if you get what I mean. We've got 100 million. He went and done his thing. The only thing I do hold against him, and it's something where I would hold against any kind of football, I know it happens in the game.
Yeah.
Is apparently he was talking to Arteta from February, even before he signed for him. So he knew he was going regardless. And when he's standing there, when the West Ham fans are chanting to him, one more year, Declan Rice, and he's going, like smiling and stuff like that. I know it's hard to be in that position, but that's the only thing that I don't like about it. It's behind our back. He knew he was going. He knew he was going to Arsenal. So to me, I lost kind of respect for him there. So I'm not going to laugh at him. I'm just if you get what I mean. That's just
I know what you're saying. My attitude towards Declan Rice is I was gutted for him to go, but devastated to a point, because I knew that he was a top class player.
Right.
The moment he goes to Arsenal, my attitude changes, because that fan base is toxic as fuck. Like it's just one of the most toxic his fan base is going. I think he's a respectful lad. He respects West Ham, because West Ham built this man up to what he is today. Without West Ham, he's not anything. So I think he holds a lot of respect for West Ham. The only issue I've got with him is that I feel like the move was sort of articulated, like you said, in that February, and people won't come out and say it, but it fucking happened. Like, basically, it was happening. Do you know what I mean? But booing him consistently all the time, I don't understand that one. This geezer did win us a trophy. He did help us win a trophy. And like, listen, I've got that photo there, and it's got him in the middle of it, with the trophy and everything. So, like, I'm never gonna be disrespectful to Deck, but he did make the wrong choice. I remember doing a video on this with all the boys back in the day, and I turned around and said that he's making the wrong move going to Arsenal. And people say it's a step up, but it's a step up to nowhere, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to want to step up, you go to Man City or Liverpool. Simple as that.
If he'd said he'd gone and I want to play Champions League and I want to experience like a title, but to say you want to win trophies, I mean, he's almost saying that I'm the final piece that means we can now win trophies. Or has told him that. So in his head, he's thinking, right, Arsenal are on a trajectory. I'm going to be part of that trajectory, and eventually we will win trophies. I think they won the FA Cup a few years back, didn't they, or something like that?
Well, it was when Arteta arrived. They won the FA Cup in the first season, but they haven't won anything since.
So I can understand where he's coming from in that motivated. He wanted to motivate himself to go and win trophies over. Then maybe he thought in a way going to City is the cop out. A bit like Harry Kane might have thought going to Bayern Munich was the easy way to win a trophy, and he goes over there. It just happens to be the Leverkusen, the best season they've ever had. And you go and win the league, and he didn't win one there. So,
I just get this comment from Andre. He's probably an Arsenal fan. Okay, he goes to City and finishes below Arsenal. It's just deluded hate for Arsenal that makes you say that. Well, since he's been at Arsenal, what have Arsenal won? Fuck all. and City have won a lot more. And City did win the league last year. So if he would have went there in the first season, he would have won the league, mate. So Andre, put that in your pipe. Do you know what I mean? That's, you know, shame about the Arsenal. I will say that. Listen, for Deck, yeah, I look at him and yeah, it's a shame, really.
I tell you what, sorry, but I've just remembered it right. So I had the biggest amount of respect for Scott Parker when he played for West Ham, when he was hammer of the year, 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Dragged us out of 2 relegation battles, or however many it was, or at least tried in one of them, and ended up getting relegated. I couldn't have, game after game after game, being the one player that gave 110%, fan favourite, and he went to Spurs. And I understand hate for Spurs. I understand why people thought, you know, if you go there, you're right in your own death regarding the West Ham fans. But I don't know if it's true, but I did hear that his dad was a Spurs fan. And he said he was on his deathbed. He said the one thing he would love you to play for Spurs. So he'd done it as a tribute to his dad. And also, obviously, he was told by Capello, I think it's, or whoever it was, saying, I want you to stay in the Premier League, so you can. There could be excuses, could be lies, just to try and make it more acceptable. But I remember coming back to West Ham and they booed him. And then when he come off, he was like looking around, going, "I'm getting booed." And I get the Tottenham connection, but the way you are with Rice, the fans booing Rice for the Arsenal move, is kind of the way I felt about Scott Parker. I know it's Tottenham. I know it's one of our biggest rivals in the Premier League. But no, this geezer's given his heart and soul for West Ham. He's almost like blood, sweat and tears for West Ham. And I thought, okay, he's gone to Spurs, but people didn't agree with me. But I said, but I know the fact he's gone there. But I respect what he's done at West Ham too much to hate him for going to Spurs, and that's just where I stood personally.
I think Arsenal fans will turn on him before any West Ham fan really does. I think West Ham fans respect Rice for what he did at West Ham. Yeah, and if in a crazy world in 5 years' time, right, he wants to come back, West Ham fans would have him back with open arms.
Personally, I wouldn't personally. That's just me personally.
I don't know. If someone said to you right now, in 5 years' time, Deck's 29, 30, he wants to come back and finish his career at West Ham, I don't think any West Ham fan would really say no to that, mate.
Well, it also depends on West Ham are. Because I know we're having a bad season now, but we don't know well. Who knew what we would achieve under Moyes when we did it? So
that's a valid comment, and I've seen that on many Arsenal things. Yeah, they're already calling it Declan Rice.
Well, they went from calling him a bargain to Declan Rice, so it went up there, and now it's all the way down here. I personally think he's. I don't know. I feel like that'd be going. Obviously, that's the door. That's keeping the door open for him. And I think once you, I mean, I think he's reaped what he's. So that's what I'm saying. That's the low feeling I've got for it. I'm not looking. I wouldn't. I personally think by that stage, we given the fact that Potter's in charge now and what he's done with Brighton, bringing through young players, I think okay, maybe a bit of experience, but 100 million and you that's your bed and you lay in it, mate. I personally think that time is gone, but could be on the other way in that. So
I will say this, yeah. I think I always will say the Arsenal move was the wrong move for him, because Arsenal are a side that they're never going to win the league under Arteta. Simple as that. Just never going to do it. I look at Arsenal as like a person who follows football, knows many Arsenal fans. They lack so much quality in the attacking areas, right? They rely too many on individuals and not enough as a team. And that's the reason why this season's been a complete disaster for them. Yeah, and for Liverpool to go and win the league, because Liverpool are now 11 points clear, they're going to win the league, Liverpool. Simple as that. Basically, they've literally handed over the reins. Manchester City won't be as bad next year. Yeah, they will be back, trust me. And I think Pep's going through the motions this year because he's shit. And so many other clubs are going through the motions to a point. Chelsea to a point, other clubs and all. And Arsenal, I don't think, can match what the big hitters can do, because I don't think they've got the personnel to. So that's the reason why I think they will turn on Rice before anything. They will turn on Rice, because the price tag for me will be the thing that they're turning him on.
Yeah. Well, I personally think he went wrong when he decided he wanted to be a more attacking player, because that's never been his strong point.
Completely agree.
He's I don't know if you're watching him. I used to watch him all the time. He used to get the ball. He used to drive through midfield fantastically. He used to do all that hard work brilliantly. He'd get to outside the area where he's either got three options. He's got a plate to the left, plate to the right, or have a shot. He can't shoot for shit. One of the few things he's very bad at is shooting. He doesn't score many goals. He's a sky chance to put it wide, and he goes blank. He goes blank when he gets that. A bit like a lot of Arsenal players that I've seen. It tends to be right. Get the ball to Saka or Havertz, and that's it. But he as a holding midfielder, as a guy who tackles and stops attacks in the flow, he's one of the best in the world at it. Just doing that job. That's what he made his name at West Ham doing. Wasn't attacking, wasn't scoring goals, wasn't getting assists. He was doing the hard graft in front of the defence. That's what made his career what it was at West Ham.
Before I let you go, Lou, because I know you've got to make a move, any final words, thoughts before I let you go?
I think, like me, I've got to be a bit more open-minded where Potter's concerned. Stop writing us off, but it's... yesterday was brilliant. Yesterday was a classic West Ham away day, especially when you don't expect it. So that was nice.
But does the Leicester game show what we're all about? Because we should go to town on Leicester after this win, and if we don't, is it one step forward and then two steps back? Like
I have to be open-minded because like we've been saying in this video, is that I wrote this off against Brentford after Brentford. I wrote this off. I was so disappointed in how that game went. I just thought, well, this is done. We were on such a good trajectory around the Potter at the time. Yeah. With all that time to plan, and it all went to shit within about 4 minutes. Could have been cooked in the first half, and luckily we weren't. And the Leicester game. Like I've got no, they're following, but they're probably already down anyway. They're probably lost calls at this point. And I feel like I should just come like right off in my head personally, but I also kind of, if it is a pre-season, right? If it is a pre-season, yes, yesterday was brilliant. If it isn't really technically about results, it's about planning for the new season. Then I want to see us play players who deserve to play. Like for me personally, I know every player played well, but there was a few times where again, Souček missed 2 chances. In the first half and didn't really do much. Like he done his job, but he misplaced a few passes, missed a few shots. And if it's true and Potter wants more pace in his team, then and this is where I would have got it wrong yesterday, because I would have played Guilherme over Kudus because Kudus hasn't been playing well lately. So I've gone, right, you don't deserve to play. I'm going to play Guilherme over you. I want to see other players. I want to see Irvin play more. I want to see Guilherme play more, because if it's a pre-season and we're not necessarily worried about where we're going to finish, then I want to see him experiment more. I want to see him experiment earlier than he would do in a pre-season. So Leicester's Leicester. There's still maybe got ounce of life left in there to try and do something. But if we're not that worried about where we're finishing and stuff, then I want to see him play players that wouldn't normally get a chance. And then that's me. That's the fan in me trying to be entertained. And trying to So I'm caught in the middle with it, mate. To be honest with you, I'm caught in the middle. I want to see it play well with results, but
I understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I get that side of it, but I still think there's games to be won, if that makes sense. Like Potter's still got a job to do in regards to winning games, because if he experiments and it isn't working, people are going to say, well, we're not getting no results. Do you know what I mean? And then if we don't experiment, it's people saying, well, why are you not experimenting? So you've got both sides of the coin, but I do think the result does matter. To a point, you know what I mean?
No, it always does, and this is the thing, because I've become so disillusioned with Moyes' end of his reign. The one thing I wanted to see when Lopetegui come in, or whoever come in, was I wanted to see more entertaining football. I wanted to see more better football. I wanted to see us attack more, not just to try and shit house results. So that was my change that I wanted to see, and for a few games I did. Not every game, but for a few games I did, regardless of whether we got results or not. And now this seems to be a bit of a hybrid of Moyes and a defensive manager, pragmatic, and also trying to attack. So he's got the structure. When we need to attack, we'll attack. We need to press, we'll press. And we need to defend, we need to defend. And if he can get that nailed down next season, say, then I'll be all for it. But just for me, it's kind of heart over head at the minute with the way things are. And like I said, look, I'm a West Ham fan, and if I'm going to be proved wrong for the right reasons, then prove me wrong all day long. If I'd have played Guilherme yesterday in Irvine, and we lost the game, then I'd have been wrong. And that was what I wanted, but it was wrong. So if he's going to play the things that I don't want to do and get results, then fair play. That's his job. He's doing his job, and I've got to respect that. So just going forward, I'm a little bit. It's at home, innit, against Leicester.
Yeah.
We seem to be a bit of a better away than we do at home, so I'm not too confident with it. But I'd like to be proved wrong again. So let's see what happens.
We'll see what happens there. Lou, thank you very much for coming on, mate. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna let Lou go.
Up the hammers.
And I will catch up again with you soon, Lou. Take it easy, man. That has been Lou. Go over and follow West Ham Network, where Lou's doing all his stuff over there. I will carry on. And any questions in the chat, by all means, put them in there. I'm going to go for another 10, maybe 13 minutes up until match of the day 2. And then we get to watch West Ham again for the third time, which has been great. I agree with what Lou was saying about people are looking at it from two sides of the coin. I understand that. I think the Leicester game is a key game, though, for West Ham. I think West Ham need to be getting a result of some note. I'm going to be honest, against Leicester. I expect West Ham to go through Leicester, no problem. And if West Ham don't, then it's like one step forward, great result at Arsenal, and then a setback against Leicester. It shouldn't be like that. West Ham should be going all out, all guns blazing against Leicester. And if, let's put it this way, Brentford can open them up as easy as they did, I expect West Ham to do it and all. Let's get to Darren's question. Any questions you want to put in? Chuck them in, mate. Question, what's the score going to be on Thursday? After yesterday's game, I'm going to say I expect at least 3 goals from West Ham. I think West Ham need to go and really put Leicester to a sword. West Ham needs to give a team a good hiding. Right, we need to give someone a really good, severe, sorting out, and we haven't this season. I don't really remember a game other than probably the Ipswich game at the start of the season where we've given a team a real good sort of hammering. Do you know what I mean? To a point. I'm trying to think. There's not really many. It's too many games where it's been 1-0 or we just scraped it. Do you know what I'm saying? We do need to get them the confidence up, and also I think above all anything else, I think Mo needs a goal. Mohamed Kudus needs a goal for this club. He hasn't scored for a while, and yesterday against Arsenal, I felt that when he's running through there, I watched it back. I thought, Mo, just take it on. Just take the shot on, right, and bury it, sort of thing. He didn't, and it was I wish he would, but I think he needs a goal. Once he gets a goal, his confidence levels go up, and then I think that's all it needs. Do you know what I'm saying? And I expect West Ham to do a job. This is a good question. What formation do we play against Leicester? Now, last week he played was it a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3? Yesterday he played a 5-3-2. Yeah, because it was a 5-3-2. It wasn't a 3-4-3 or anything like that. I expect West Ham to go 4-3-3 against Leicester. I don't expect West Ham to play with 3 centre halves, 2 wing backs at home. I expect West Ham to be more proactive at home rather than sort of defensive at home. Do you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, we're going back to the old days with Moyes, and we all know how that went. Do you know what I'm saying? So we don't want to go back to the old days. We want to go back to the current day. And the current day is we want to basically try and be a bit more proactive against the lesser teams. If anyone wants to come on, the link is in the chat. By all means, you're more than welcome to come on. Lawrence, hope you're well, mate, from Kentucky. And everything's all good. 5-3-2 will do the job. Yeah, I just don't agree with it, mate. I'd rather have 4-3-3 and just go all out attack. Do you know what I'm saying? But against Leicester, I do expect a performance of quality. I will say that. Ferguson to start versus Leicester, I would say so. Ian, I'm going to be honest. I'd give him an hour. I'd let him loose for an hour. He come on the other day for what, 10 minutes? Yeah, I'll give him an hour against Leicester. If he gets a goal, yeah, that's another one whose confidence boosted straight away. And then we're going to the Newcastle game in a few weeks. Do you know what I'm saying? Fair enough, Fresh. Just as a team, they need to use the rest of the squad to get back into the winning mentality. I agree on that. I just felt, I don't know about anyone else, but a lot of people don't agree with me on this. But I do like Bowen as a centre forward or as a two-man strike force. He does the job every single time. Do you know what I'm saying? And yesterday's goal proved it. That was a centre forward's finish, right? He held his run. He he sort of followed Wan-Bissaka and made sure that he wasn't going to be offside, and he landed straight in the box, diving header in front of goal. You can't ever complain about that. You really can't. So listen, I like Bowen in that position. People are a bit funny with it. Oh, he's got to play on the right. I think if you get a better right-sided player over there, or Mo stays and becomes that right-sided player, I'll go with Bowen up front myself, mate. I really would. Lincoln, hope you're well, mate. Evening, James. Still buzzing here, fella. Do you know what? I'm in the I've got well, I own a dog, don't I? And I'm in a syndicate with all the other dog lads, and half of them are Arsenal fans in there. So I left a lovely voice note in there, singing to them, shame about the Arsenal, as I did yesterday on the Afterthought, and I've not heard a response since. Do you know what I'm saying? I haven't been chucked out the WhatsApp groups. That's a start, but I haven't heard a response since. And Minty, shout out to Minty. He knows who he is. Yeah, he's literally avoiding all my calls and everything. But I will not be beaten. Do you know what I mean? As West Ham will not be beaten. So yeah, it's been quite an enjoyable day, and today was enjoyable. Last night was epic, absolute epic. I went out last night, had a few beers, spoke to a few people, and I met a few people who had just come back from the game, and they said the atmosphere in the away end was electric, really, really good. And that's what it is. That's what it's about. You need. I've always say this. I say it quite openly. When West Ham are together, then basically we can be untouchable to a point. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Hello, man. What you saying?
Yeah, you're right. How's it going?
I'm good, mate. What are you saying on this fine Sunday evening?
I really like what I saw yesterday. I think it is a turning point. I think now the players are back. I think we can really push on now. You were saying about Leicester on Saturday. I reckon we can really stick it on, and I think you're right. I think we do need to stuff someone up, and I think I like what I'm seeing now. I like the fact that he didn't have to play Ferguson from the beginning. He had Bowen there.
Yeah,
Bowen was excellent, obviously, and I like that he can bring Ferguson in gradually. Hopefully, he can give him a start at some stage and really turn the team over. Waiting for. I liked Tadebo coming back as well. I think that was interesting as well. I thought that was really good actually. Um, I used to like Mavropanos until I used to see your stuff, and then I saw
he's
him give away. He gave away that free kick at the end, and I was
yeah.
like, no. I was thinking, no, it's gonna happen. So
Joe,
I was,
what? I've got nothing against Mavropanos, but some of the boys say to me, Jay, every game he gives away a chance. Like it's always a chance, or it's a stupid foul, or something that puts us through the mill to a point. And basically, I looked at him yesterday, and when he gave away that free kick, my head was on the floor. I was like, please. And then what was the result was Raheem Sterling stepping up and taking it. I thought, what a result!
yeah,
He
yeah,
held the goal, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
what do you make of Skulls yesterday?
I think it might be his place now. I think it
Yeah.
might. Yeah, yeah. Before it was like, will it be? Will it not be? He looked comfortable, didn't
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think he's making that. I think what Potter's doing with him is brilliant. He's working him in gradually this year, setting him up for next season, and I think it's brilliant to see. I thought yesterday, as I said earlier, and I said it on the afterthought yesterday, I thought he was brilliant, absolutely
he?
brilliant. He done one thing wrong that I can remember in the whole game, and that was the pass down the line to Bowen, which it was going to no one. Other than that, I
I
thought he was
remember it.
brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
so. I think he's mature for his age. He's
yeah,
and for many a year we've needed an upgrade on our fullbacks. We've always been relying for a long time on fullbacks plus 27, 28 years old. We really need. Oh, apart from the one who went to Ipswich, can't remember his name anymore.
Ben,
He's
Ben
the past.
Johnson. Yeah,
Ben
yeah,
Johnson, yeah. But at least what he looks tidy. It'd be interesting because obviously Emerson works well with Paquetá, and I've
yeah.
I've always liked that. But so I think offensively, Emerson might have a bit on him, but defensively and all round, I think it's just what we needed.
I'm going to ask you a question that I got asked last night on a different stream. And I asked it to a few of my mates today. I actually met Lucas today and had a few beers with him because he's going back next Friday.
Yeah,
If Pack would have played yesterday, do you reckon West Ham would have got a result?
yeah, I think so. I think so because you've got to remember it would be either him or James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah,
I can't actually remember what I'm not slagging him, but I can't
mm,
actually remember what James Ward-Prowse done yesterday. He probably done a lot of the running.
yeah.
Yeah, so maybe Port Prowse made a bit more running than him, but you can't say no to Paquetá. Paquetá's class because you remember before he went injured, he was man of the match, wasn't he?
Yeah. Like, but the only thing I will say with him, with Pack, is he's not very disciplined. That's the only thing. I thought West Ham was very disciplined yesterday. I
Yeah,
think the whole team was disciplined. Like no one sort of done anything stupid. Even Alvarez, which is
yeah,
like you know what I mean. Like, and I was thinking, please don't you do nothing silly today. And he was pretty good and all. So like they was well drilled. Is the word I'm looking for. Like they was very well drilled. And sometimes I don't think Pack is the guy to be in that team, which is well drilled. I think he goes a bit wayward. Like he'll try and do a flick or a trick, and it might not come off, and then we're wondering, what you doing? Do you know what I'm saying? Um,
yeah. You're right.
finally,
You're right.
I'll leave you on this one. Graham Potter, what you saying?
Yeah, look, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing the vision. I think he's doing well. I think you're wrong. I think he's gonna stick with the three at the back, and I think that's us forever now. I think we're a 3-5-2 team forever now. I think he's comfortable in that, and I'm not a big fan of it,
Yeah.
but I think if you've got the right players in the system, then it doesn't really matter. Like if they can go into midfield and all that. So no, he's getting a 6.5, 7, maybe at best right now for what he's done thus far.
Mm.
But no, he's done what he set out to do, and I think I like him. I do like him. I'm happy.
Mm. I think he's. I always say this. I think he's a builder, mate. I think you give him the tools to do the job. He'll do the job to the best of his ability. As I always say, this season's a pretty dead season. Like yesterday, sort of eased me down a bit from relegation threatening fears. Like because 10 points behind, if we like the way we was playing, like we didn't look like we was going to win a game, right? At
Yeah,
any point, and to go and win now is it's bittersweet because it's beautiful to a point. But like I was concerned that West Ham might not be able to sort of get a result down the road a little bit. I mean, if we get to the Leicester game and the Leicester game we need to win, and we fail to win that for any reason, then we might be looking over our shoulders. But obviously that eased. But listen, I think Potter's great. I really do.
yeah,
The only thing I've got with him at the minute is he going to be able to get this fan base on side in regards to style of play? Because yesterday was very disciplined, very low block sort of thing. Moyes
yeah,
done that back in the day and people hated it. Is he going to be able to sort of match or better that, if that makes sense?
yeah. Because when he came in for the Villa game, the cup game, what I was really impressed by, and what's the game where we done a couple of turnovers. I'm going to judge him on the press.
Yeah.
We have if we keep, continue pressing, then I think we will forgive him. But if it just stays low block and all that kind of stuff, then that's when we'll get on his case because we want to be on top of teams. You know what I mean? I think if he keeps pressing from the front and allow and not too much football in our own box, then I think we'll be
Yeah.
all right.
Final words from you, mate. What you saying for Thursday?
I think we're going to smash them. I really do. I think we need to. I think. Well, the problem's going to be the Brentford game. I think that Brentford game. I think it scarred us, and I think that's going to scar us for a little while. But if we do Ipswich and we pick up our home form, then I think we'll be flying for next season.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. Thank you very much, mate, for coming
All
on.
right, cheers, fella.
I really do appreciate it. All the best to you. What a man. Right, that's that. Yeah, listen, I agree with what he was saying. Like the gentleman who come on, like totally agree. And I do think West Ham need to give a team a good kicking, if I'm being truthfully honest, because we need to be sort of seeing the attacking side of it. I think defensively, I think we might be all right next year. Yeah, if we can get some defenders in, I think if we can get that sort of third centre half and that replacement for Cresswell, even though Cresswell done great, I don't think he's a first team starter for West Ham in the back three. If we can get the back three sorted out, the wing backs take care of itself. Wan-Bissaka and Skulls, that's very, very good. I think we need another centre half at the back there who can come in and do the job and sort of be on that left hand side of the three. And listen, we can do some damage next year. To round it up on this video from me, I'm very optimistic about next season. I really am. I believe West Ham might be able to do some damage next year. Yeah, if we can keep our key players at the club, Potter goes out, gets rid of all the deadwood, brings in some real top quality players and young up and coming players. You bring in young, fresh players, they're going to want to have a point to prove, and you've only got to look at Skulls for that. Now, you look at Earthy. Earthy was in the crowd the other day. Lucas, I see him today. He was telling me about. He called into McDonald's and he's in there having a Big Mac and chips. You know what I'm saying? And that's Earthy for you. Like, you're scoring a couple of goals for Bristol City. You're going to the West Ham game, and you're loving life. So the future's bright at West Ham. I just think this season, I've been saying it for a little while. I've been saying it consistently over the last few weeks, ever since Potter arrived. We're going to have up and downs this season. We're going to have like games where we expect to win and we ain't going to be great. And then there's going to be games like yesterday where we don't expect to win nothing and we go there and win. That is just the West Ham wave, yeah, it really is. I'm going to wrap it up there, everyone. Thank you very much to Lou for coming on. He was here for 40 minutes. And to the gentleman who come on, I didn't catch his name. Do you know what I mean? Next time I'll get his name. But he comes on, as he say, and that's what it's all about. My final thought is this, yeah, and I'm going to enjoy this for a while. Yeah, Arsenal are just a toxic fan base, and they do love to rub it in our faces, especially when they reckoned they got our star from Mikel Arteta. But you know what? I just love it when we beat them. Love it, because their fan base goes into one, and we sit back there with a popcorn and a pint and go, bravo. Thanks for that. And yeah, we will see what happens. Anyway, have a good night wherever you are on the planet. Be safe, be well, and I shall be back tomorrow, hopefully, with Jay, and we'll have another Have Your Say. Anyway, from me to you, all the best.